Upgrades. 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 So today we're upgrading from an 1028, sorry, all the way to a 1033. So much more hill climbing on this one. It's overkill, but it's the only spanner I got. Man, look at the size difference of these cassettes right here. This 1033 is massive compared to the other one. And that's how big a climbing cassette should be. The rear cassette's an easy job, but that one's on. We're running out of light, so we better get cracking with the other stuff. Okay, so we've literally just put the cassette on, and now we're just going to try and go up and down the range without changing anything. Chain hasn't been changed. But now it's time to get into some stems. Okay, so we've got two options here. The first one is this 3D printed one, and it actually looks really cool. It's very light, it's very stiff. But yeah, it's pretty sweet. So we're going to choose between that one or this one from here. There we go, so we've got a headlight on the front. It's actually quite a heavy, bulky headlight, but I'm sure it does a really good job when you need it to. So if we take a closer look at the front light here, it just magnetically clips on, nice and simple. You just press this button and it pulls off. And then from here, you've actually got some adjustment points, so you can angle down your front light there, so you don't annoy any drivers, because I know it can be blinding sometimes for them as well. And then we're going to go to some weighing here. So the whole front mount with the light weighs 184 grams. So it's pretty hefty, but I think it's a small price to pay if you need some light. And then the mount itself is only 54 grams here. So actually a lot lighter without it. But if we compare that here to the 3D printed light, hell of a lot lighter, just a measly 17 grams for the whole system. Okay, so we're back in the apartment. We have once again ran out of daylight because today was one of those unbelievable days that you get in the UK, and they're so rare. So we've had to come back home basically for this one, and now that we're home, we can fit the tubeless tyres. Whilst we're here, I have a tyre lever removal tool, which basically I've always wanted to try on some tubeless tyres because it's worked so well on other tyres. I've plasticked up the front here. This is what it looks like. I do have another video on it. I'll stick it in the link here, but I've put some tape on there just to make sure that it doesn't do anything to the rim, basically as you're running it around to get the tyre back on. So with that, let's get to it. They were actually very tight to get off these tyres, both front and rear, so I had to call in the assistance of Laura and use both tyre levers to really pull that bead off the rim. Tubeless valve in, and once we've done that, we'll get back to it and see if the tyre lever works. Okay, so that is a tubeless valve in. Thankfully these wheels do come set up tubeless ready, so it's basically a case of chucking the valve in and you are ready to roll. Okay, now it's time for the all-important test. Does the tyre glider work to get this on? So I'm going to hook it on here, just anywhere random. It's kind of seated in the middle. And let's start to go around. So far, so good. It's looking nice. It's not doing anything to the rim, which is very important. And we're right at the end here, so I'm just going to grab that bit. Oh my God, so easy. So easy. These were hard to get off. Thankfully, Mokov actually come with these valve core removers with their tubeless valves, and it makes it super easy rather than those rubbish plastic ones. These ones work really well. Rear wheel off. Now it's a case of just doing the same on this one. I'm hoping this one might be a little easier because it's a 28 tyre, whereas it comes with a 25 tyre on the front. So hopefully the more space will make it a bit easier to get on and off. Okay, so here we go. Attempt on the rear tyre. I am coming to the conclusion that the plastic here, the electrical tape here does protect it a bit more. I haven't used it without it, but I've just got that added layer of protection on there. I've got my tubeless insert in. I'm going to hook this onto the rim. So this rear tyre is a 28 rather than a 25, so I'm hoping it will go on a little bit easier. But the last one with this tool went on so easily. So even around this top area here, look at that. Not a problem. So easy. I'm really happy with this now that I know it works with tubeless tyres. You saw how tough these were to get off. And here we go, tyre number 2. Very satisfying. So that is it. We're officially done with this bike. So we've got the front mounted light, upgrade number 1. Upgrade number 2 is the different cassette. So we've got a bigger cassette, much more for climbing, especially more suited for where we are around Surrey here and especially for where we're going next year. We have got the tubeless tyres on. So I think tubeless is great. They are a little bit of a faff to set up, but they're easy enough nowadays. There's just a little bit of mess you have to clean up afterwards. But for the sake of, they're literally 3 to 5 watts faster than a butyl in a tube. 3 to 5 watts per wheel. I mean, that is a massive upgrade. If it is 5 watts per wheel, that's a 10 watt saving you're saving at all times. So I think you'd be silly not to, and you've got the added puncture resistance. I've had a good experience with tubeless, so they work really well for me. And then we just realign the brake calipers as well, make sure that the brakes aren't rubbing as a final touch. If you want to see the first ride and review of this bike, then we are going to upload that next week as we've just filmed that today. So stick around or subscribe if you want to watch that one in the future. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Cycling Unboxed. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.